So the Super Mario Brothers movie continues to dominate, surpassing 700 million globally and will probably reach a billion here soon. But even though it is one of the better animated movies to come out recently, I still just don't quite get all the praise that this movie's getting. Because for starters, I don't know how all these movie reviewers missed it, is how woke it actually is. And the only reviewer, and he's actually not really a reviewer of movies, to actually really call it out was Tim Pool. And I'm really not the biggest fan of Old Beanie Boy, and I probably disagree with a lot more than I actually do agree with, but he did call it out correctly. And I would go recommend watching his movie review because it basically covers all the complaints I had with it. But instead we had everybody dogpile on him for whatever reason, just because they either don't like him or whatever. They can't just like separate their maybe dislike of Tim Pool and the actual movie. You know, they were throwing things like, oh, well, you don't like Mario or you don't know anything about Mario. Well, you don't have to know anything about Mario to see like the wokeness in the movie. How did no one see that Peach was really kind of the driver for almost all of it, and Mario was in the passenger seat for most of it, and Luigi was in the fucking trunk that they let out in the last like 2 minutes? And one of the biggest complaints I saw that they were throwing at Tim was the short thing. And well, let's just reverse it. If Mario was in Peach's position and he called her old or fat or whatever, I'm pretty sure everyone would be up in arms, being like, oh no, it's misogynist. He can't be calling her. She could do it all. But when Peach calls Mario short, it's, well, you know, you must have some insecurities about being short. See? And that's where it lies. Stuff like that is subtle wokeness that's hidden within the movie. Now that they learned that everyone will just call it out, especially all the big YouTubers now are calling it out, people are listening, the box numbers are going down because of it. So now they're going to do it more covertly and have it hidden under some plot line, or have it not so prominent in the movie, or like in this movie, have Mario at the very end save it, when the whole movie it was more Peach doing most of it. Because up until almost the very end, Peach was doing almost all of it. And don't tell me, oh, well, the Donkey Kong fight. Yeah, well, Peach still had a hand in that because she was telling him about where the power-ups were. So, you know, he didn't really quite do it without her assistance. No matter what, she was always helping, even at the very end. She's the one who, Tim said, kicked the star to him when she could have easily just grabbed her herself. But I'm pretty sure there was some script version where she saved it, but someone at the end like, you know what, guys, that's a little too on the nose. We gotta have Mario do it instead of Peach, and everyone's like, and it just blows my mind how no one saw it. And I think the worst crime is what they did to Luigi. They had him in a cage for the whole movie. I don't know how everyone was just okay with that. For the whole movie, he was in a cage, and because there was some, you know, emo star quoting Pierce the Veil lyrics, like, that's not funny. None of that. Like, I never laughed at once when that stupid star was on being all the doomer. And for me personally, the worst part of the movie was Bowser. Oh my god, what the hell did they do to Bowser? The whole time, he was like this cucked ex-jealous boyfriend, just singing songs to Peach, didn't even know he existed. It's like he had this like delusional relationship in his head, and everyone was around him just like, okay, I mean, I guess we're gonna do this. Just, you know, just follow this crazy guy around who's only after this girl who doesn't even really know exists. And I don't know how no one complained about Bowser being an awful villain. Like, I know it's Mario, but it could have given him more personality than just, I need to marry Peach because I like her. Like, what kind of motivation is that? And no one said anything, which kind of makes me wonder if this was some other, not in the Mario universe, some other, the exact same story, but it wasn't Mario, how would it have been viewed? Would it have been viewed as creepy, or just because, you know, we know these characters, it's okay just because we have these characters' profiles built up on our head through, you know, decades of media. But whatever. I mean, this is what you guys think is okay. This is what we're gonna get. Movies with all this covert wokeness that you guys will just clap along and think, oh, it's so good, it's so good. It's not. It's fucking trash. So go watch Tim Pool's review on it if you want to see more of my problems. I kind of just expanded on what he didn't really talk about that I thought needed more addressing. But guys, they've adapted. They've adapted to the overt wokeness and converted it to covert, just because it gets a lot less blowback and they still get to push along what they want to push along. So we have to be a bit more vigilant now, because now they're going to start, like I said, be inserting it more covertly. So you have to be paying even closer attention to these movies. And I actually didn't hate the movie altogether, but it's a telling sign of what the plan is moving forward.